When I started my first company, we were a young team. It was great. The first employees were a really cool bunch. But then over time, things changed, and one of my team members started to, make mistakes that really were costly at the time and really put a strain on the company's bottom line. But I couldn't really let him go. I really liked him, and I felt obliged to keep him on. My name is Benjamin. I'm a fractional COO, 3 times bootstrap founder. And what I want to talk about in this video is the founder loyalty trap. So think about the first year or so with your company. You have a tight-knit team. The first contractors and employees are coming on. Everybody's really motivated, all-nighters. You get the company up and running. Lots of involvement, lots of commitment. So yeah, really tight-knit team. But then over time, the company changes, right? Requirements change. The skills required in the company change. Business changes, the landscape changes, but also people change. And you end up at a point where somebody that you have on your team, potentially even had been promoted into leadership positions, might not be the best fit anymore for the company moving forward. And you feel loyal for that person, which is a fantastic character trait. I really think it's a really great thing to be loyal, and also it's a two-way street. I know many founders who've been very loyal to the team, and in turn their team stayed on during difficult times. So I think loyalty is a great thing. However, many companies that scale get to a point where loyalty becomes a liability, in that it creates a ceiling for what your company can and can't do. If you have team members in key positions that you think are not the right fit anymore, I've come to a point where I think there's two really good mental models to use when thinking about that employee and what to do. Because ultimately, the truth is you can't keep them on. You have to find a solution, and you can't keep them, cap your business. So the first thing I like to think about is it is adding time to the question. What I mean by this is, if you have an employee that's not working anymore, but you don't want to harm them in any way, you don't want to have a difficult conversation, it often helps to add time to the mix. Instead of saying, well, I terminate you and you're out, say, well, listen, this is not working anymore. Your life circumstances have changed, the company has changed, the skill profile needed has changed, whatever it is. I want to give you the opportunity to, find something else that's meaningful to you. And I would like for us to find an endpoint to our collaboration within the next 6 months or 9 months, at the end of the year, whatever it might be. Adding time to the mix, if that person is receptive to it, which obviously not everybody is, but that just helps to make it a very human and respectful transition, instead of being unloyal or disloyal. Right. So that's one thing, adding time to the question. Secondly, think about it this way. It's either them or you. What I mean by this is, often if you tend to be very loyal, you find yourself in a situation where you say, well, I can't let this person go. They've been so loyal. They've helped the business so much. But then if you think about the trajectory of the company, you have to think about, it's either them or your business. And either they succeed and have a good life, or your business works and you have a good life. And now this might sound egotistical, but really, if those are the two options and it's your business, which one are you choosing, right? So these two models, I think, help a lot to make a decision with regards to an employee that your company has outgrown, is not a good fit anymore. And then there are really two options. One is, this is, I think, very rare, move them to a position that they like and feel valued with, but that's also a good fit for the new and changed skill profile, either from them or the company. Again, I think very rare. Secondly, is really to part ways. That's the simple truth. I've found that if you basically outgrown each other, this employee and your company, typically it's a win-win if you part ways, both for the company and the employee long-term, because they can find something where their skill sets are really valued, that's a better fit for their life circumstances at this stage of their life, etc. So it's typically a win-win. And if you add time to the mix, it's often also very manageable for that employee. Ultimately, you have to face the hard truth. You have to have uncomfortable conversations as a founder. And this video really is to say, have a conscious look at your team and see, where are we really as a team adding value, and where might I be trapped in loyalty that has built up over the years, and this person is actually not serving my business anymore. Follow and like if you want to see more of operations content like this. Thanks.